Welcome to RPG Maker MV Basics number 2. I'm Stratix. Before we get started, if you want to follow along with my adventures and know about all the many different things I do with gaming and other stuff online and at different websites, you can follow me at my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Stratix. And you can find me on Twitter, I'm Stratix Gaming, YouTube, of course, Stratix Gaming. Now, before we start with the new stuff, I wanted to go over quickly some stuff from episode 1. I wanted to talk about editing the graphics and the hierarchy I've been trying to diligently keep track of. If you notice in the bottom left window here, where we have our hierarchy of created objects, you'll see that I changed the House 1 and Weapon Shop to be nested under Normal Town. This is, again, something I failed to do in episode 1. I think it's just for clarity to make sure we have all of our ducks in a row. It makes it easier to understand. So if you had a bigger project with multiple towns, it would be harder to keep track of if you had the name of the town and everything in the town at the same level. This way, you can quickly look and see, oh, there's a town within this should say something like ZF World. I'll change that later. And then the House 1 under it, and it's like, oh, this is all what's in the Normal Town. And then another town would start, which would be nested at the same level of Normal Town, and so on. So, also, if you had any bit of experience whatsoever, one of the first things I think people figure out how to do is how to look and see the graphics and click on them and how we can edit them. Firstly, to edit the map, we have to make sure we're out of event mode, which you'll see at the top here. We need to be in the map mode, which is the map editing. And the event mode has the grids, so that's a kind of a tip-off. But then you'll see you can draw things that are like, oh no, but I want to get rid of them. I believe you can right-click on a tile to copy it. So if I right-click the grass and then left-click, I'm getting grass. So I right-click one of these tiles to fix what I just did. Over here in the house in the top right, you can see I kind of messed that up. So, whoops, I really messed that up. There we go. But now we have no windows, so we could put in some windows if we wanted to. Now, you get a certain tile set, you're like, well, where are all the graphics in this game? I mean, isn't there more stock graphics? Yes, but they only show you what graphics are at your disposal tied to what current map you're working on. Like here I switched to House 1 and suddenly I'm getting a different set of graphics. And that's because if you watched my episode 1, you'll see that you assign what kind of a map as far as is it an interior, exterior, world, overworld, etc. And we chose outside for this map because it is outside. It's a town. We have tabs too. I don't yet know what R is. I just don't know. I'll have to figure, that's something new I'll have to figure out. And we'll get back to, maybe not even in this basic series. But that's essentially how you can edit graphics. So if I wanted to, I could change this building that we made our weapon shop. I can change a graphic above it to represent that this is an item/equipment shop. If I wanted to, I could let's find some windows and then put some windows on this house here. There we go. Now we have some windows back on it. Alright, so in this episode, I want to create some NPCs. Let's switch back to event mode to get our grid. Let's just start maybe around the town square, the center here. Now I believe we right-click on a tile and go to New. I'll give us this, and we can name it. Let's say this is going to be NPC Bob. Or I know. This will be NPC. Let's actually call this Admiral Yui. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on here. I think what we're going to do is we're going to, for now, ignore all this stuff. In the first section, go down below to where there's an image, or no image. Double-click that. It should bring up a list now we can choose for images to represent the NPC that we're creating. Okay, so here's some actors we have. They have them under all different kinds of names, okay, and not just people. But let's just, for simplicity, let's go to people. We have people 1, 2, 3, and 4. Who should Admiral Yu be? He will be this guy. How's that? Awesome, and there he is. Now, for autonomous movement, we're outside. We're just creating an NPC. So we could set this to his movement behavior. Let's set it to random. Later we can build upon this and learn the other stuff if need be. We're creating a very small little world here. And we're going to build it in layers. So we're going to have a fully functioning thing here when we're done. I don't know if I should call it a game. But we can build upon it as we continue to expand our knowledge of how to make games and how to do more with the RPG Maker engine. So right now, we're starting out very basic and slowly dipping our toes into deeper waters. So we have random movement here. We have a name. I believe that is all we need. What's priority? Nope, we don't need that. Trigger, action, player touch. Nope, we don't need that. Options, walking, stepping, direction, fix, through. We don't need any of that. Let's hit apply and OK. And you can see our little guy there. Alright, now let's go into our weapon shop using our hierarchy, using our list. We need some guy that will eventually sell us stuff. So he's going to do more than just be a guy walking around, right? We're actually going to be doing things that need commands. So we're going to do the same thing. Right click behind the counter, hit new, and we'll call him Shop Owner Bob. Alright, let's pick an image from people. It's nature. Well, we could even make it a magical world where it's a monster selling us stuff, huh? We'll skip on that, though. People 2. Here we go. Let's choose... I guess she's an elf. We'll choose her. Now, type fixed. This is going to be fixed. So, she's going to be the shop owner. Yeah, and we'll change her name here. So, she's not going to move around. So, we'll not fix. How about shop owner Charlotte. I think that's all we need. We don't even need any of those options. We can uncheck walking and hit apply, I believe. Now, let me see if I can recall this. Right click, edit, and I think this is where we get into creating. We right click in the contents window right here at the very top and click new, and then we get a list of commands. These are event commands, so this is where we're going to start setting up multiple things that she'll do. So, we just have an NPC that's basically just like a graphic that we can't do anything with. And what we want is we're going to want messages. And now also there's 3 tabs here for, and it's nicely organized. There's scene control, system settings, help, or map, battles. If we look under, I'm trying to find the right one. If we look under tab 3, we'll see things like shop processing, battle processing, open menu screen, and so on. So this is where we'll set her up to be sort of a shop. But I think what we want to do first is have text. And we'll do show text. And now we can assign a face for her, because when our main character goes up to talk to this person, we'll be getting a dialogue box. And you know how they always have a character portrait, or very common. And that's the way RPG Maker does it, and that's the way a lot of older RPGs did it too. So we can double left click the face box, and this is where we can choose a face for her. So we could do people 1. Where was she under? I think this is actually supposed to be her right here. So let's go ahead and choose that, hit OK. We have that. Now I believe this is the very, very first thing that is spoken whenever you walk up to interact with this person. So you can pretty much be creative if you want. Do whatever you want. But since this is a shop, we're going to need to offer choices, I believe. So we're going to learn how to offer choices that we can then choose, which will open up a menu. And I believe that's when we get into the shop processing. So let's just say, hey, how are you? Check out my groovy stuff. I believe that's all we need. We don't even need to be that long-winded about it. So we hit OK. Now, this is where you can start seeing the game engine translating your simple point-and-click stuff into actual code. This is, I believe, using Ruby. I'll have to look it up again and get back to you later. So we have the very first thing assigned here now. When you talk to them, they say, hey, how are you? Check out my groovy stuff. But that's it. So if we double-click the next black diamond, we can... let's see. We might need to assign choices, actually. My gears are turning. You can hear the gears in my head turning, smoke slowly coming out now, because I want to make sure I have this right. So let's go to tab 3 and set up this shop processing. We're going to do shop process, and this is where you will be picking from a list of pre-generated stock items that are already set up in the engine. I think this is blank. I think all we have to do is double click on it. And now we can choose from items, weapons, armor. So we're going to keep this very, very simple. We're going to do, let's add an item, and let's add a potion. Because the only items we have here are potion, magic water, dispel herb, and stimulant. So let's add, for now, we could always come back and edit this, right? So let's add the item potion. It'll be standard price, and hit OK. Now that's in there, and we can go down the list. Now let's switch to weapons, and our main character will have a sword. And the next one, oh, the standard price for that's 500, huh? So the next one, we'll do armor and just have like one thing. Like, let's do a hat. Alright, so we're done. And there's a little box that says purchase only, but let's actually allow them to sell as well. So we'll leave that blank and go ahead and hit OK. Now, see how it added all these next commands down here? Now, I think we skipped something. I think we need to get the choices up above here. So I believe we have to somehow get this moved down. I don't think we can just right click it. We can cut, right click, paste. So we have a little bit of options. And if you just click on it like once, it's highlighting all these 3 lines because it's all part of the same command, so to speak, or the same action or event. So let's go down here, double click on this 3rd black diamond that's now appeared. Let's go back to tab 1 and select show choices. Now let's actually change this to buy. Choice 2 will be sell, and then if you change your mind and just want to get out of there, a lot of RPGs just say leave, right? So we'll do that. Buy, sell, and leave. And we'll do OK. Now, see how all this appeared here? I believe we want this above. So let's take this and hit cut, and it automatically moved that stuff up. And then we can right click on the bottom one and hit paste to get this in the order we want. So now what we're seeing here is when we talk to the person, they say, hey, how are you? Check out my groovy stuff. And then they'll show choices to buy, sell, or leave. And then I think what we're going to do is move more stuff. Because see how it says when buy, when sell, when leave? So I think when we choose buy, we're going to be showing it the shop processing part of the command. So let's cut this and up, and then the black diamond below when buy, we'll right click and paste it there. So when we choose buy, it'll go to shop processing and show us our choices, a potion, a sword, and a hat. And I believe because in the database, it's already prices and stats and attributes are already assigned in the database. That's why it's not showing us the price in here. If you're confused and looking like, well, how do I know what the price is and stuff like that? Because it's already kind of assigned to that item. This is sort of a name placeholder. It's saying this is the potion, and it's already in the background. What it's not showing us is that the potion has stats tied to it. It probably gives us like 100 HP or something. I'm not even sure how much. So this is now. Let me think about this. We want to double click on that. Go to the 3rd, shop processing. I don't know how to sell actually. So we might have to come back to that. I'm looking. Messages, show choices, input number, select item, show scrolling, party, actor, movement, character, picture, audio, video, screen, fade out. Okay, let's cancel that. So this is incomplete, but it should show us at least when we actually have a main character and talk to this person. I'll go over it again. We've created this character right over here to behave a certain way when we try to interact with her. Now, when leave, I don't know how to do that. Let me see. Okay, let's right click. I believe in VX Ace there's a way to preview, but it doesn't really show much, I don't believe. New edit, yeah, hit preview. So this is just showing us exactly what it will look like, which is I mean it's neat, so we can preview it, but it's not really helping me get to the conclusion I want right now. And this window position just shows where the dialogue appears on the screen, the dialogue box. And most times it's always at the bottom. Most times, not always, and you might want to change it. You can always change that to whatever you want. Let's cancel that. Let's edit this. Initial position of the cursor. Let's cancel that. Okay, let's just go ahead and apply this and hit OK. And then we'll come back to that. And I don't like leaving loose ends. I don't like leaving loose ends like that. But what we want to do is go back to town, normal town. Now I think all I want is this one guy here. And we can right click on him and hit edit, right? And we have him random movement, walking. We don't have anything tied to him. So we could right click on in the contents and hit new and then start adding some dialogue. And this is where you can just, again, be creative depending on what story you're trying to tell. Will govern a little bit of your decisions over what your characters say. So when we first run across this guy, we need, again, to double-click the image area and assign an image for this guy. Oh, we don't have to be exact. I mean, they don't have to match. Look, we could change it. We can make it give this guy with the groovy mustache. And that's what he looks like. And then we could say, well, hello there. I'm Admiral Lee. Nice to make your acquaintance. There. We can preview it. I think this line is telling us where the edge of positioning was. Let's go before the T in 2 and then hit enter as a hard break. There we go. And we can hit OK, and dialogue is added. This is very... I keep feeling like I have to give disclaimers. I want you to understand that this is pretty much game development. This is a very basic form of it, but a lot of times game development is not smooth. Plus, I have a limited knowledge. We're learning together. So, confusion, wrong choices, backtracking, a little bit of that is par for the course. It's to be expected. But I hope that I'm at least explaining it well enough that it can be followed and I don't bore you to tears. I hope I just don't bore you completely so utterly bad that you're just like, I'm out of here. So let's go ahead and apply that and hit OK. So we have our little guy there. We have a guy in the weapon shop. Or a girl in the weapon shop, our elf girl. If we wanted to, we could add more, but I think what I want to do, what I'd like to do is finish working out exactly how the dialogue will behave for this person. So let's do that next. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that because, let's edit her. I'm thinking because we have let's edit this. I'm thinking the way the stock engine works, or the defaults, is that when you have that one box, let me show it to you. This box here, when we did processing, and we left purchase only unchecked, meaning we can also sell. I think once we're in the purchase window is also when we're going to be selling. So it makes having a separate sell choice in the dialogue redundant, I'm thinking. So we can get rid of this. So that should have updated. We edited it to buy. There's our process shop processing under it. Oh, I got rid of leave, didn't I? Okay, so we click on the main box above, edit. Let's just change sell to leave. Hit OK. But now, when we decide to leave, it could trigger other events. You see, at each of these points, I believe we can enter new branches and keep adding, building on to this. So, under when leave, let's double left-click that and do text. And I guess we have to reassign her image. So we're leaving now. It's like we're saying leave, and then she could say, alrighty then, goodbye. You hit OK, and then it ends. So believe buying, because we left that checkbox unchecked, will handle that for us. So this should be nice and complete then, and done. So she's going to be able to sell a potion, sword, and a hat. And let's hit apply. So that should be taken care of. When we actually play test and come in here, now we should be able to speak with her. I don't know if we can speak with her across the graphic of the countertop. I wonder, but there's a little space for us to walk around and actually get next to her if that's how we need to in order to trigger her dialogue. So that should be done. Let's double check. Normal town. Let's go back to this guy here, Admiral Yui. And so far we have him set to sort of walk around randomly. But when we talk to him, he says, well, hello there, I'm Admiral Yui. Nice to make your acquaintance. Then we could now, I believe when it comes to long-winded dialogue, you don't want to have it all under one branch or section. I'm not sure if it will handle. I'm not sure how that. Let's do this next one. Double click it and do show text. Let's double click this. Well, who did we have for him? Oh yes, we have the dapper gentleman. What? Okay. And let's see what happens now. We can say right out in plain sight. Okay, it looks like we can only just fill it up. I tried hitting enter again on the next line and it automatically did this. So my guess is whenever we are speaking with him, we'll get this window, and then it'll have one of those little ding ding ding, press a button to read more, and then it'll load the next dialog window, and so on. So we could waste a little bit of time doing even more here. Whoops. Let's cancel that. What was the last? I have no idea. Okay, now let's hit OK. Because I'm going to turn this guy into the quest giver, I think. Or at least he'll be an NPC that can point us to a chest, because we want to at least make one chest. I think it'll be nice to have a treasure chest we can find, to see how we can do that. To see how we can place an object in the world and access it as if it's a container with something inside of it. So that'll be nice to have. We'll go ahead and end here pretty quick, though, with this episode. So we should have a fully functional, well, for all we need right now, a fully functional shop owner, and an Admiral Dewey here, which is going, telling us about a treasure somewhere in town. So in the next episode, we'll just continue on. I wanted to keep this roughly around half an hour each. Maybe some episodes will be longer, maybe some shorter, but I want it to be small digestible chunks. I would rather have you wanting more than wanting less, right? I'd rather have you sticking around and saying, wow, this is interesting enough for me to watch through the whole thing, and then saying, I wish he'd make the videos longer. I'd rather have that than have like an hour or 2 hour long video, and then halfway through people just are just like, ugh, this is too much, and then turn it off. And plus I'll be adding them all to a playlist. So once I start releasing them and people start discovering the series later on, after many episodes are already done, then they can gorge on it, like gorging on a show on Netflix. They can watch the episodes as much as they want, as fast as they want. So that does it for episode 2. Let's review real quick. We have our shop owner, and we have our guy. I think the next one, I would like to try to make the dungeon that we'll be going into. I think I would like to get a quest, and maybe also get that chest made with an item in it that we could find, or money in it that we could find. And then we'll have that's a lot. So hopefully we can get all that in episode 3. So thanks again for watching. Like I said, I know this is short. On one hand, it's short, and on the other hand, it's really slow going. But this is game development again. It's not some action-packed game. We're not playing Super Meat Boy or anything here. So we're slowly and tediously making a game, and I'm trying to reduce all that tedium by only having the basic elements we need. And once we're all done, though, as we go, we can always build on and add more to this. So the other thing I didn't show you at the end of episode 1, which I really apologize for, is just always save your project. So go up to File and save your project. And that's it. It doesn't show you that you saved it, but you did. So that does it. Thanks again. I'll see everybody in episode 3.